Welcome to our exploration of two fundamental biological processes that sustain life on all Earth. Today, we will examine photosynthesis and cellular respiration, discovering how these complementary processes work together in perfect harmony. These metabolic pathways represent the ultimate partnership in nature, where one process creates what the other consumes. Understanding their relationships is crucial for grasping how energy flows through living systems. By the end of this presentation, you'll appreciate how plants and animals depend on each other through these interconnected processes. The first objective is to understand how photosynthesis converts light energy into chemical energy stored in glucose molecules. Next, we'll examine how cellular respiration releases energy from glucose to produce ATP for cellular work. This process occurs in all living organisms, from bacteria to humans, making it universally important. We will then compare and contrast the reactants, products, and cellular locations of both processes. Finally, we will analyze how these processes form a complementary cycle that sustains all life on Earth. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are essentially opposite processes that work together to cycle energy and matter through ecosystems. Photosynthesis captures solar energy using chlorophyll in plant chloroplasts, converting it into chemical energy. The process combines carbon dioxide and water using light energy to produce glucose and oxygen. In contrast, cellular respiration occurs in mitochondria of all eukaryotic cells, both plant and animal. Notice how the products of photosynthesis become the reactants for cellular respiration, and vice versa. Photosynthesis begins when light energy from the sun is captured by chlorophyll molecules in plant chloroplasts. Carbon dioxide enters the plant through tiny pores called stomata, while water is absorbed by the root system. The process occurs in two main stages: light-dependent reactions in the thylakoids and the Calvin cycle in the stroma. During these reactions, light energy is converted into chemical energy stored in glucose molecules. The overall equation shows 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water combined with light energy, producing 1 glucose molecule and 6 oxygen molecules. The light-dependent reactions occur in the thylakoid membranes, where photosystem complexes capture and process light energy. Photosystem 2 initiates the process by splitting water molecules into hydrogen ions, electrons, and oxygen gas. These high-energy electrons are then passed through an electron transport chain embedded in the thylakoid membrane. Photosystem 1 re-energizes the electrons using additional light energy, ultimately producing NADPH as an electron carrier. The key products of these reactions, ATP and NADPH, provide the energy needed to power the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma of chloroplasts and doesn't directly require light, though it depends on the products from the light reaction. Carbon fixation begins when carbon dioxide combines with RUBP using the enzyme Rubisco, the most abundant protein on Earth. During the reduction phase, ATP and NADPH from the light reactions provide energy to convert these compounds into G3P. Most G3P molecules are recycled to generate RuBP, allowing the cycle to continue processing more carbon dioxide. This cycle must turn 6 times to produce 1 glucose molecule, requiring significant energy investment from the light reactions. Cellular respiration is the process by which cells break down glucose to release the chemical energy stored within its bonds. This process occurs in the mitochondria of all eukaryotic cells, making it universal among plants, animals, and fungi. The process consists of three main stages: glycolysis in the cytoplasm, Krebs cycle in the mitochondrial matrix, and the electron transport chain in the cristae. Each, each stage extracts energy from glucose in increasingly efficient ways, ultimately producing up to 38 ATP molecules per glucose. The waste products, carbon dioxide and water, are exactly what photosynthesis needs as raw materials. Glycolysis is the first stage of cellular respiration and occurs in the cytoplasm of all living cells. This ancient metabolic pathway doesn't require oxygen, making it an anaerobic process that likely evolved early in Earth's history. The process begins with one glucose molecule being broken down into two pyruvate molecules through 10 carefully orchestrated enzymatic steps. However, the process ultimately produces four ATP molecules and two NADH electron carriers, yielding a net gain of 2 ATP. The pyruvate molecules produced will continue to the Krebs cycle if oxygen is available, where much more energy can be harvested. The Krebs cycle occurs in the mitochondrial matrix, where pyruvate from glycolysis is completely oxidized to carbon dioxide. This cyclical process produces NADH and FADH2 electron carriers, along with small amounts of ATP directly. The real energy harvest occurs in the electron transport chain, located in the inner mitochondrial membrane's cristae. This energy is used to pump protons across the inner mitochondrial membrane, creating a concentration gradient. The combination of the Krebs cycle and electron transport chain produces approximately 32 to 34 ATP molecules per glucose. The energy yield from cellular respiration is remarkably efficient, producing up to 38 ATP molecules from a single glucose molecule. This represents approximately 40% efficiency in capturing the chemical energy stored in glucose bonds. In contrast, photosynthesis requires an investment of 6 ATP molecules to produce each glucose molecule during the Calvin cycle. The ATP produced by cellular respiration powers all cellular work, from muscle contraction to protein synthesis. This quantitative comparison highlights why cellular respiration is so crucial for active, energy demanding life processes. The relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration creates a perfect cycle of matter and energy in living systems. Photosynthesis produces glucose and oxygen, which serve as the essential reactants for cellular respiration. Conversely, cellular respiration produces carbon dioxide and water, which are exactly what photosynthesis need as raw materials. The oxygen we breathe comes from photosynthesis, while the carbon dioxide we exhale feeds photosynthetic organisms. Understanding this relationship helps explain why protecting plant life is crucial for maintaining the balance of life on Earth. Photosynthesis converts light energy into chemical energy stored in glucose, while cellular respiration releases that energy to produce ATP. These processes occur in different cellular locations: chloroplast for photosynthesis and mitochondria for cellular respiration. The products of one serve as the reactants for the other, creating a sustainable cycle of matter and energy. Both processes involve multiple stages with specific locations and functions that you should be able to identify and explain. More importantly, appreciate how these complementary processes maintain the energy flow that sustains all life on Earth. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe and check out Dr. B's tutorials on Amazon for full AP study and IB study guides. See the first link in the comments below. For more tutorials and test prep videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dr. B's Tutorials.